Even though for a few, the idea of a fifth dimension may seem unfamiliar, the conception of it is truly fascinating, and many devote themselves entirely to exploring it. After all, who wouldn't want to live in a state of higher and superior consciousness? That's why many of us gather around this goal, to undergo a complete transformation of our lives and our being, something that might be closer than we think, and I want you to explore it with me today. Let's delve together into the concept and the path that leads to that dreamed of place, because it could be the moment you need to discover what's preventing you from getting there. And if you still don't understand very well what the fifth dimension is, or if, from ignorance, you're curious about what it holds for you, then stay until the end, because there's nothing more powerful than knowledge, and that's exactly what we'll share. Don't worry if, in previous occasions, you've come across information that ends up confusing you more. Today, I want to be very clear with you, so that, armed with knowledge and open to experiencing a new level of consciousness, you determine your being to seek that absolute well-being. When I talk about absolute well-being, I refer to a dimension where there's no selfishness, individualism, or any other low vibration energy that might come to mind, because the fifth dimension implies the highest energy that can enter our planet at this moment. It's simply something that goes far beyond everything we currently know and have in common. Life in this wonderful destination is marked by ideals that can be very elevated for those who still dwell in the third dimension. This is precisely because of the type of frequency required to access this realm, where only the most powerful things can be found. You must understand that fear, anger, anxiety, and other negative energies are only powerful in the dimension we are currently living in. But far beyond them, there are truly gigantic and powerful energies, and perhaps the foremost among them is love. Much has already been said about the power of love and compassion, but most people can't even imagine the extent of what this feeling, this ideal, that is the foundation of an entire dimension, can achieve. Something that could work in your favor on the path to living in this better place could be understanding that when you act from that high vibrational energy, nothing can go wrong. There's no loss, no failure. Everything aligns perfectly with the universe. Perhaps this has been a key factor in allowing those who access the fifth dimension to establish a more harmonious community where everyone finds their joy and happiness permanently while coexisting in perfection with others. One of the characteristics of those who have reached such a high level of consciousness is the recognition that we are all one. Undoubtedly, every soul is connected to others, and the decisions of one affect all. You might still be struggling a bit with overcoming obstacles in this third dimension, but that is not a limitation to prevent you from accessing the fifth dimension. Each of us inherently possesses everything needed to enter a state of constant and permanent well-being. What happens is that we choose not to recognize our capabilities and strength. This energy that entered our planet is precious and arrives at a time when the earth is preparing to reincarnate into a superior version. All of us seeking to grow and refine our inner selves can be part of this. One of the fundamental principles of this fifth dimension is personal growth. We cannot exceed such a high vibrational frequency by only working superficially or pretending to have healed the things that affect our being. This doesn't mean that the fifth dimension is a distant and costly destination. It simply tells us that we need to transform our inner selves to be prepared to live in a higher quality civilization. All of this could be just around the corner if each of us is determined to take action and truly address the things that are hindering our growth. We were not born in a predetermined form or of a specific size. We were born to expand. Through our actions and decisions, we can grow, flourish, and manifest everything in reality. Those who don't believe in this and don't put it into practice will be individuals who remain stuck in this third dimension. This dimension empowers low-frequency vibrations, and superficiality, individualism, and other aspects have been prevailing, not generating benefit for the whole. From a better understanding of the contribution made to the common good and the objectives it pursues, the individual becomes more conscious and harmonious. The path they follow becomes more manageable, and the burden they carry is only that of their own actions, which are aligned with positive energies. In essence, such a reality is not unpleasant for anyone, especially for someone attempting to align themselves with God and their life's purpose. Therefore, there is a large number of souls seeking the door that, once crossed, helps elevate their consciousness to this level. This life necessarily involves internal growth, combined with the constant determination to let go of everything negative that doesn't generate well-being. Without cultivating these qualities and learning to navigate in love, we won't be able to transition from this dimension to one of higher vibrational frequency. Now, those who have worked on these aspects and are transforming their being and reality may wonder, how do I know that I am moving my being into the fifth dimension? This is a very valid question, and thanks to the knowledge that authors like the famous Dolores have spread in their works, we can better understand the signals that our being and reality give us to comprehend that we are ascending to this new dimension. Because even within this internal transmission process, certain things may go unnoticed or be considered part of the work you do, but they could actually be indicators of your journey to that wonderful and perfect destination. Today, I would like to share these signals with you so that you recognize the merit your soul has earned, the privilege of dwelling in this perfect place. Here are at least 13 points that we could highlight. Number 1, a collective consciousness begins. First, we might notice that we are making the leap to this fifth dimension when our list of priorities is influenced by a level of consciousness in which we recognize that we are all connected to each other. Therefore, our actions have an impact on the lives and realities of all souls. This is partly due to a process of becoming aware of our being, one closely linked to the personal growth that souls undergo when they manage to inhabit this dimension. It is also linked to a new change in priorities, which corresponds to our second signal. Number 2, living from unity and love. These are two concepts that govern the precious fifth dimension, and they must undoubtedly be handled by the souls that inhabit it. There cannot be a single inhabitant in this space who does not manage a level of consciousness guided by something different from unity and love. And indeed, at a certain point in your elevation of consciousness, you will come to understand the perfect and astonishing way in which we all connect. It's as if each of us were a point connected by a line, or as some like to think, by a thread. Each of your actions, whether positive or negative, has an impact on the life and reality of others. Therefore, when your being is guided by the love and unity of souls, your actions tend to be much more harmonious within your surroundings and the vast universe you inhabit. If you have begun to travel your path immersed in these two essential aspects, it is because you are entering that wonderful new place where your soul will rest, vibrating with the highest and purest. Number 3. New premonitory signs are easily perceived. Sometimes at this point, the manifestation of this signal may be quite subtle at the beginning. However, as it grows and the approach to the fifth dimension unfolds, the person cannot help but realize that they are receiving information from their soul and the universe. In this space, they may be prepared or warned of circumstances that surround them or will present themselves. Some choose to think of it as a kind of intuition or even a sixth sense, but many of us understand that it is an exact alignment with the universe and divinity. It involves vibrations of such high frequency that make a person more sensible to what unfolds in their surroundings. Experiencing this awakening to the world is simply sublime. Similarly, the experience of being attuned to receive that message from your soul, that divine message guiding you in the best way through the reality you manifest, is undoubtedly a sign that you are reaching that special destination. Number 4. Internal healing and transformation. As I mentioned earlier, when talking about the leap from our third dimension to the fifth dimension, it inevitably involves internal work aimed at propelling our growth and perfecting our soul. This translates necessarily into healing. And not only that, but an internal remodeling takes place where everything out of place is arranged, and anything hindering growth is inevitably transformed. This is a transformation that many avoid due to the fear of the immense energy at play, but daring to live through it is beneficial in every aspect. Many have found assistance in this through meditation, prayer, and other therapies. But it's in that moment when you perceive that everything has been healed and you walk with a lighter and more fluid step that you realize you are venturing into that coveted dimension. Number 5. Unified experience of time. At this point, you must understand that those who access the fifth dimension begin to perceive time in a different way. It doesn't move for them in the same manner as for those inhabiting our third dimension. While for us, things are divided into 3 times: past, present, and future. For them, time does not unfold in that way. There is only one time. Only the present moment exists, and manifestations of their past or future can be quite visible in the present moment for them. These souls have reached a level of consciousness and vibrational evolution where they focus only on the present moment. Only what they live exists, and they channel their energy into what occupies them in that instant. Although this may seem absurd to many people, it turns out to be a quite valid way of living. They free themselves from all anxiety about what is to come and the burdens that many carry due to past experiences. It's quite challenging to develop this skill because, in the midst of this third dimension, we've been accustomed to keeping things from other times deeply embedded within ourselves. Over time, their weight increases, making it increasingly difficult for us to move forward. So, it's highly beneficial for an individual to reach a sufficient level of consciousness to maintain their focus on the present moment and act from there in love. Number 6. Manifestation becomes simpler. It's not at all strange to think that once thoughts, feelings, and actions are aligned with divinity, the task of manifestation becomes easier. We possess an infinite capacity to create everything we desire to enjoy, with no limitations other than those we impose on ourselves. All that's needed to manifest everything we desire is to align ourselves properly with the vibrational frequency of what we seek. In other words, If I tune my being to the goodness I wish to embrace and continue progressing in my reality, convinced that every small step I take brings me closer to it, thinking that everything will unfold in the best way for me to have that perfect haven, and embracing the feeling of joy that would arise from having it in this very moment, I can be sure it will be mine. Maintaining faith is essential, and guarding against any negative energy that could sabotage the efforts each one makes to achieve their goals and desires. It's a task that many find challenging, often requiring support from affirmations, prayers, and even meditation to accomplish. But that happens in this third dimension, because in the fifth dimension, engaging in all the relevant practices for manifestation is an everyday occurrence. Individuals who reside there easily find themselves holding everything they dream of and determined to be part of their reality. Those souls are not invaded by any doubt, fear, or any other low vibrational energy, because they exist in such a high frequency that these things don't reach them. There's nothing negative in that place, nothing that hinders maintaining a state of constant joy and well-being. Number 7. A consciousness of multi-dimensional existence is created. Even though some people in the third dimension still feel fear when faced with the possibility of various worlds, civilizations, and dimensions, the reality is that it is a fact, one that has been confirmed by many scholars in the field over the years. But even with the knowledge available, many choose to ignore it, and due to this, they remain stuck in this low level of consciousness that persists in the dimension we inhabit. However, people who have accessed the fifth dimension understand and accept the idea of a multidimensional universe in which all beings inhabiting these different destinations have their own characteristics and can even move between dimensions to acquire and share knowledge. It might even be quite common that, thanks to this level of awareness and acceptance, some entities from other dimensions make an appearance before these individuals, not causing any alarm, as their vibrational frequency only attracts beings of light. For those who have overlooked it or are still unaware, our vibration not only influences the type of things we attract, but also the people who come close to us, those who are part of our lives and our realities. Number 8. Embracing unconditional love. Love is an extremely powerful energy that brings countless benefits to the life of anyone who experiences it, and this is precisely what people who have accessed the fifth dimension experience. However, for these souls, it's not about experiencing love sporadically, and that joy and light that come with such energy are limited to certain moments. On the contrary, they experience this well-being constantly and limitlessly. Their being lives in compassion, in kindness, forgiveness becomes their daily bread, and they practice it with ease, understanding that we are all beings with different processes and levels of consciousness. I believe it is almost impossible to explain in a single moment everything that love transforms within an individual, but it can be said that it primarily makes them more compassionate people. To draw a small comparison, when we speak of the infinite love of our Creator for each of us, we understand it through infinite forgiveness, kindness, love, support, and backing. Something like this is what we should understand about those people who have reached a level of consciousness sufficient for their being to settle in this dreamed-of dimension. From there, we also see how a civilization is built that lives in harmony, not getting hooked on daily routines or small stumbles, one where blame is not sought, but everything is forgiven and healed almost instantly. When a person begins to experience this, they can be sure that they are in the midst of the transition to the fifth dimension. From here, a couple of points also emerge, which we will address below. Number 9. A constant feeling of joy and happiness is experienced daily and permanently. Perhaps this point sounds like a dream to many, but more than a dream, it is a reality in which many souls live, thanks to the profound work they have been doing. Happiness is a resource that our Creator has made available to everyone. It is an unlimited resource, so another's happiness will not affect how happy you can be. And if we remember some of the things we have discussed, we are all connected to each other in intangible and often inexplicable ways to simple logic. Therefore, the growth and construction of the happiness of others can only represent a benefit for ourselves. Understanding this is why people who inhabit the fifth dimension have filled themselves with love and compassion for others, perpetually maintaining a state of happiness for both their own and others' achievements. Each person makes the path to manifesting their desires shorter. When you live from love, with an understanding of the universe and truth, there is nothing or no situation that can rob you of happiness. Nothing can bring you down from the highest frequencies, and therefore, your life is safeguarded in the light. I know that, like everyone else, you would like to live in well-being and joy every day without any worries. I tell you that this is possible through the transformation of our being. Number 10. They experience great detachment from drama. This point is closely connected to what we have been discussing. No person embracing constant love and happiness can still want to be immersed in drama. Those who have elevated their consciousness in this way can accept that. Clinging to being right or reliving past events that contribute nothing to the present moment is worthless. Evaluate this objectively, because what has already happened cannot be changed, and the future will only be determined by our actions today, not by our ideas or what we say we will do, but by what we execute. This is only speaking from the perspective of distress and what we can orchestrate from such low energy. But if we want to approach it from the standpoint of arguments, trying to prove who is right in the midst of a problem, you must truly understand that winning or not will not make you a better person or bring you closer to your goal. Seeking to stay in drama until you are proven right is not something that serves your evolution, and without evolving, you cannot manifest in the midst of this dimension or open the door to everything you desire and confidently await. Number 11. They create a sense of unity with nature. A considerable portion of the population thinks that nature is taken for granted. Let's sit down and reflect, because besides providing all the resources you need to live and eat, it is also responsible for depicting everything you see and giving a place to your earthly existence. Nature does so many things for us. It is simply present in so much of our lives, even in the air we breathe. Learning to flow in the midst of this universe inevitably means connecting with nature in all its extent. Those beings that inhabit this precious place understand the importance of nature perfectly. They respect and honor it, causing their civilization to be dedicated to transforming the world to make its coexistence with us more friendly, fluid, and respectful. Imagine for a moment that this interaction between humans and nature reaches a level where we can each offer the best of ourselves to the other, from infinite love, respect, and kindness. This is a bit of what this civilization in the fifth dimension experiences. They can free themselves from worries and anxieties about the future, knowing that each day they live from having it all. Number 12. Development of greater psychic abilities. understanding that people in the fifth dimension are souls that have reached a very high vibrational frequency and expanded their being from the deepest level, it is not surprising to think that they have also developed a series of abilities inherent to the being that remain dormant in many. I will remind you once again that each and every soul has been equipped with the full potential to be perceptive to changes in their environment, and this is an intrinsic aspect of these individuals, not because they actively seek it, but because the growth of their being grants them this wonderful privilege. Number 13. Transcend judgments and fear. As a final point, I can mention this particular aspect related to these two negative energies. In the midst of a space where nothing negative exists, the power that these two things seek to take immediately becomes ineffective. It may be that in the midst of the third dimension, these vibrations are quite powerful and even capable of bringing down individuals who inhabit it, ending their internal work and sabotaging significantly. The incredible thing about the fifth dimension is that it neutralizes the influence of these, as there is nothing contrary to love and joy, making the immersion of these vibrations not allowed in any of the beings who have privileged access to this destination. And it's with all that you have seen, there can be no doubt that the fifth dimension is the place to which each soul should correspond, because the purpose of all is to live in well-being and vibrating at a high frequency. It's just that due to all the misguided information that has taken hold of us, we have been led to where we currently reside. Despite this, the energy of that fifth dimension pulls us with force to place us where we truly belong, and it remains for each of us to use our strength to seek to unlock this leap from one place to another. The path of growth will never leave anything that is not wonderful, and it is unequivocally linked to knowledge, which we would like you to share with anyone you feel needs it. Therefore, we invite you to use the share button and announce the good news of that destination that awaits each of us. Tell me in the comments if you feel that you are in the midst of the leap to that precious fifth dimension, and don't forget to subscribe to continue expanding our knowledge and sharing the teachings that are sent to us every day. I hope to see you in the next edition. Until then, I invite you not to falter in the pursuit of the growth of your being, because from there, your soul will position itself in the most precious places.